Hi, do you like delving into the intersocial connections between huge names in Hollywood? I mean, hopefully you do. You clicked on the video. Some stars have more to delve into than others, like Sarah Jessica Parker, who rose to Hollywood stardom as the star of her show. Oh, come on, you know what show. But of course, her journey hasn't been without its bumps, and she has definitely made a few enemies along the way, like Anya Taylor Joy. Starting out with a bang, we have the quickly rising star Anya Taylor Joy, who starred in The Queen's Gambit, which just, by the way, amazing show. It's where I first saw her and has since been in many huge Hollywood productions and even done some voice acting. Anya often mentioned her admiration for Sarah Jessica Parker, and in an interview recalls an embarrassing encounter that she believes may have tarnished their relationship permanently. Quote, "I saw her and I ran up and I was going through a really bad breakup and I was like, hey, I just have to tell you, like, I've been watching you and Big and it's giving me a lot of hope." And she was like, "Oh, that you'll get back together?" And I was like, "No, that I will survive. That I can like move on from this and that it'll be okay." End quote. And after a moment that felt longer than any she had ever experienced, Anya held her breath and Sarah responded, "Okay, I'm gonna get into my car now." Oh my god, I would curl up and die on the spot. I would be mortified. Poor Anya. Yeah, I think the awkward tension between them may be too much for them to work together anytime soon. Next up is Kim Cattrall. I believe that this feud has been going on since before I was born. Actually, I'm certain, yes, it began while they were filming SATC, and I can't say the full title because I'm not allowed, but if you know who Sarah Jessica Parker is, you know what SATC stands for, and if you don't, what are you doing here? During the filming of the show, Kim claimed that Sarah and the other woman were very cliquey and made her feel unwelcome in their group. By the end of the show's run, there was even more strain placed on the relationship between the two when it was revealed that Sarah was making up to $3 million per episode, whilst Kim and the other co-stars were only making $300,000 per episode. Like, yeah, I'd be pretty upset too. There have been many public digs made at one another in public, with Kim recently stating in an interview that she wishes Sarah and the other stars would have been nicer. Honestly, I'm kind of with Kim. If you're not a girl's girl for all girls, are you really a girl's girl at all? That makes sense. Whatever. Next up, we have Diana Agron. Yet another awkward encounter involving Sarah. This time, our beloved Diana Agron, most famously known for playing Quinn in Glee, was getting pictures snapped of her on the red carpet when all of a sudden, the paparazzi began screaming at her to get out of the way so that they could take pictures of Sarah Jessica Parker, who was next in line. Now, obviously, the paparazzi should not have yelled, and that is not on Sarah, but instead of standing up for a fellow woman in Hollywood, she quietly snuck up to her mark and began posing and smiling, completely pushing Diana to the sidelines and seemingly being void of empathy. In the aftermath, fans of which, okay, if you've ever met a Glee fan, they are, okay, A, very funny, and B, absolutely terrifying to be around if you are insulting the show. So you could anticipate that the fallout of this short interaction was not so fun for Sarah. Noth is the next culprit on our list. This one is highly publicized and has been huge news for the past few years, when two women came forward and claimed that Noth had made inappropriate and non-consensual advances and actions towards them on separate occasions. Sarah immediately spoke out against Noth, stating that she stood with the alleged victims of the truly heinous acts. Chris has obviously not been invited to return to any future episodes of the reboot, and I don't think anyone, especially Sarah, will be working alongside him anytime soon. Following that horrid man, we will be lightening the vibe with Patricia Field. Patricia Field has been working with Sarah Jessica Parker for years as the stylist for her breakout role of Carrie, and all did seem good, but Patricia spoke out against Sarah in the situation regarding Kim. She is said to agree with Kim wholeheartedly that the set was definitely not the friendliest environment for her, and that she was often purposefully excluded from discussions, decisions, and even things as simple as work lunches. Field and Sarah do have a good relationship though. They attend parties together and they are now working together again on Sarah's latest show. I'm glad to hear that Sarah is able to be called out on things from those close to her. Next up is Kathy Najimy. Kathy is a very close friend of Kim Cattrall and starred alongside Sarah, I think in Hocus Pocus. I think that's where she's from. Which, you know, it's not a huge issue that she's friends with both, but you know, they're not fans of each other. But Kathy says that she has room in her heart for the both of them and that she doesn't feel the need to choose between the two. Fans have become skeptical, especially ones who know how difficult the politics of being an in-between friend can be. I mean, if one of my best friends was even speaking cordially to someone I have openly said I dislike for valid reasons, I would be pretty pissed. Maybe I'm dramatic. No, okay, I'm definitely dramatic. But like, where's your loyalty? You're saying that your friendship to her is more important than my detest for her. And if you don't care what I hate, are we even friends anymore? Do you even care about me? What about all we've been through together? It's like you don't even remember what happened to us at Bell Falls on Canada Day week. Oh my god. It's like you don't even remember what happened to us at Bell Falls on Canada Day weekend in the otherwise wretched year of 2020. Okay, I can't think about this anymore. It's too upsetting. Landing right in the middle of this list, we have all of Russia. In the 8th episode of the SATC revival show, And Just Like That, a woman is called a Russian night worker with the reasoning that it is common for expensive real estate owners who are female to be Russian night workers. But later in the episode, it is revealed that she is an entrepreneur, and moreover, she is not even Russian. People were pretty pissed at this. Not only was it written as a hugely degrading remark coming from one woman to another within the show, it also actively perpetuated a stereotype that Russian women had no choice but to trade their bodies for money, and that it was the only way they would ever be able to afford something like that. Even though that doesn't end up being the character's true profession, it adds to a still burning belief that women are not good for anything other than their bodies. So yeah, didn't love it, and I don't think Sarah is gonna be writing jokes like that again. Next up is Kat Florence. In 2018, Sarah Jessica Parker and Kat Florence Design were involved in a legal dispute. Kat was suing Sarah big time. She accused Parker of backing out of a $7.5 million endorsement deal and not returning accessories that had a combined worth of nearly $150,000. Parker countersued, saying she fulfilled her obligations but wasn't paid. The two later on informed the court that they had largely settled the issues. Depositions were postponed, but they eventually reached an agreement. The actress received $1.375 million, but claimed an outstanding balance of $6.125 million. God, I wish I was rich. Following Kat, we now have Heidi Clum. Heidi Clum expressed interest in starring in the revival show, And Just Like That, as a replacement for actor Kim Cattrall. I actually think Heidi has been on the show before, but as herself, not as a newly fabricated character. Heidi obviously did not get the part, mainly because there was no part offered to her or available, but likely also because she's not known to be an incredibly effective or successful actor, and the backlash faced from replacing such an iconic character would likely be too much for fans to handle. There'd be a riot in the Capitol. Especially Catching Fire, because that one's a masterpiece. What movie or book is your favorite one though? Sorry, okay, I get distracted so quickly. Heidi Klum, Capitol, no, okay. Heidi Klum, Sarah, character, upset. Riot in Capitol, Hunger Games. Okay, I keep coming back to it. Okay, God. And closing off with the lowest note possible, we have Nick Richie. Finally, I think this one is kind of the most messed up. So, backstory on this one, a lot of people, men, sorry, often say that Sarah Jessica Parker holds a striking resemblance to a horse. They have been saying this since the beginning of her career, and obviously it is still a prominent and much loved insult to this day. So this guy made a fake PETA, and no, not PETA from the Hunger Games, PETA as the controversial animal rights organization. He made a fake ad that had Sarah's face on it saying, "Save the horses." Yikes. Yeah, that's just straight bullying. Can you imagine being an adult man, like a fully grown man, and still acting like an inept child who has to lower everyone else's value so he seems more desirable? Like, that is so embarrassing for him. Ew, get away. That brings us to the end of today's video. Thank you so much for hanging out with me. I hope you enjoyed my rambling, and of course, I hope you learned something. See you around. Bye!